Chappelle Show. Let's start the show. First Sky Omaha. Better not bring your kids in the morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get on up. Got to get up. Move your body. Hey. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DS.
In the DS. I can't show them now. Don't matter.
Can you show me?
Say what?
I said, can you show me?
That's what I'm saying. I can't pull them back up without. You know, this program will kick us off of Facebook if I do anything interesting.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, man. All this money coming in Northo. Teachers got a raise. Cavanaugh shut it down yesterday. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody who's joined us in. We really appreciate everybody coming on in this early as well on this Friday, March the 10th, 2023. Come on in.
Come on in. Get a seat. Get comfortable.
Man, Pops gives us a good Friday morning, sending love to my First Sky fam all the way from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. How's the weather out there today? Judy Prinzler says, happy Friday, family. Happy Friday to you too, Judy Prinzler. Appreciate you. Leia Keister says, happy Friday, yay.
Yay. With a couple extra yays.
Yeah, man, she's really happy it's Friday today. So Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado sending much love from Texas. What's going on, my brother? Big bro in the house. What's happening? I need to get out there and visit y'all. How's the weather out there too? Because you kind of got to ask that everywhere. Everybody is experiencing some craziness with the weather these days. So what's going on? Y'all having some hailstorms or something out there now?
Got Vegas and Texas getting the snow.
Bro, the Joshua Tree, when I saw the snow coming down in Joshua Tree, I was like, it's the Battle of Armageddon itself. Man. I don't know what's going on.
Some people have been, it's the beginning of the end.
End times. But this is beginning times of the show today. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey, okay. That's what's up. I like that cherry bucket you got on, man.
Thank you.
What's up? Every time I see a bucket, I think I'm like, I gotta get Buddy that bucket right there. He gonna like this one.
Hey, I still gotta get that green hat from that lady. She, if I'm not mistaken, there's a green Oakland hat.
Miss Erica Fell.
Yeah.
That lady.
You know who I was talking about.
Yeah. What lady? Oh, you mean that lady.
That lady. Yes. There's only one. That lady.
There you go.
Who's that lady? Hey.
I appreciate you guys coming in on YouTube and Facebook this morning. That always lets me know both are working today. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. If you missed this show, any parts of this show, you can always check them out in its entirety after it's over on the Facebook page or on the YouTube page. And of course, definitely check out the chats when you go re-watch the show, because that's where all the conversation goes on. So, yeah, man. Yeah, that's what's up. Thanks for everybody who's joining us. You know that we will have the senators on today, brother senators Terrell, McKinney, and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their name coming on in.
Hey.
And talk about the heavy week that we've had in the legislature, man. It's been a heavy week. And I'm going to have to go ahead and when things settle down a little bit, ask Senator Cavanaugh, put some respect on her name to come on through too, because man, she's been the star of the show around there recently.
Was lighting them up on the floor.
We'll definitely talk about it. Ariel's 402 says, "No one on the corner has swagger like us. Hit me on the burner prepaid wireless. We pick and deliver like UPS trucks. Already going to hell, just pumping my gas." Okay,
Is that what that last line says?
is that what the last line? I'm not sure about
You,
that.
you, you know that's the MIA swagger like us.
Yeah, I remember up to and deliver like UPS trucks. I
Yeah,
didn't remember that last line though.
yeah. That's what I'm like. That's what they were saying. I'm singing to that.
Man, just pumping his gas too. Okay, that's what's up.
All right. I want to win gasoline draws.
Rad. I was gonna bring up the old head for all of our friends that didn't grow up with black grandmas. Talking about running through hell with a pair of gasoline draws on, and that's you running fast if you're doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Need to slow
Chris,
down. That's what that means.
you slow down. Chrissy Nora gives us a good morning. Rick Fulton says good morning. Good morning to
Hey.
y'all. Arrows 402 says, "I've been to 29 Palms Joshua Tree." Yeah, man, that's my little desert safe haven when I'm ready to get away from the cold. Yeah, I go out to the desert out there, but they sent me pictures from the desert, and there is straight snow on the cactuses out there right now in California.
Man.
It made no sense, bro. Rick Fulton says, "Did you know tomorrow is the St. Patrick's Day parade in the old market?" I don't keep track of St. Patrick's Day as much. There's a big celebration at the Benson Theater, though. I know that. And there's a bunch of big wigs. I'm meeting a whole bunch of Irish big wigs in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely some celebrations coming up. I stopped. Back in the day, it was kind of guaranteed if you wanted to go out and get into a fight, you go out and hang out on St. Patrick's Day.
After a Guinness too many.
Yeah, man, that's a one Guinness too many. Yeah. Anybody here celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Let us know if you got plans, what you guys got going on. Yes, it's not really. That day's not really for me, but I do know a lot of folks that get down with it. Michelle Troxler is like a avid. She goes out hard on St. Patrick's Day all the time. So
Yeah, it's a celebration for the Irish and drunks alike.
I don't want to put that drunk on them so hard though. Like it's it's a like I'm learning. This one that's coming to Benson Theaters is like a actual celebration of Irish culture, music.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna have traditional music playing, all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just like every other thing, man. People put it together to honor their people, and then it turns into Christmas. It turns into some kind of commodification, some kind of way.
Yeah.
The
They're
bars,
gonna commodify it. You said it.
yeah,
Commodification.
yeah, man, yeah. They try to act like everybody Irish is drunk so they can sell more beer on. You know what I'm saying? It's not. So anyway, yeah, let us know if you are about it. Rick Fulton says Mayor Stothard usually leads that parade. Hope people don't throw eggs at her.
Nah. Hopefully not.
If you do, make them sure they got the green dye in them.
Green eggs and ham. While you at it? Where you at it?
Mama Guy says good morning, First Sky fam. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on.
My
Ariel
dudes.
402 says paddy wagon is a derogatory name for a car full of Irish. Paddy wagon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Okay.
It's real easy to jump on the stereotypes and stuff because there's some truth to stereotypes sometimes. So it's hard to not it's to me it's a matter of respect. Yeah, there's some truth in it, but I'm still not gonna act like that with you.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah, shout out to everybody who, if that's your thing, shout out to you. Please
man.
celebrate responsibly
Yeah.
and safely. And yeah, I mean, otherwise, if you have any other plans over this weekend, it is Friday. So, we will be trying to get into some haps later on. Let us know what's going on in your world. If you have any plans this weekend or anything coming up in the next weeks or so, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let us know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing I will say though, one I remembered about the reason why it's St. Patrick's Day coming up is because I read an article about the police setting up traps everywhere. They get ready to try to make their quota of tickets.
Oh yeah. Again, I wasn't trying to put the drunkenness on the Irish per se. I was more so saying people who do have a proclivity of drinking, use this as an excuse to to indulge extra. So yeah, definitely. Even if you're not on that note, even if you're not celebrating yourself. If you're out and about, please, look out for drunk drivers. Be safe. Be careful. Yeah,
And
yeah.
look out for cops. That's what I'm
That
saying.
too. That too. That too.
Mama God said McGow sound Irish. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
yeah. I
some
mean,
Irish
we
in the
we
family?
kind of we kind of grew up, with the we know we got Irish in our family. We Black Irish. So, I have heard that if there's like an MC that
Hmm.
it does denote some kind of African Irish lineage.
Really? I never heard that.
I haven't really done too much research in it, but I did hear that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I don't
you
know.
never know.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done one of those like 23andMe things. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
conversation.
I
But
don't trust them. I don't trust
yeah,
them.
yeah, it's a whole different conversation. But it would be interesting to see the full mix. Like you kind of hear these things growing up, but it'd be nice to know.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know how accurate all that is. So I don't know if you would know even if you got it done. You know what I'm saying?
Again, that's a different conversation. It's a different conversation. How much time
Uh,
we got?
Rick Fulton said, "My wife's grandparents are from Ireland." Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I think this. When I think of St. Patty's Day, though, I think of like American Irish as opposed to
Hmm.
people that are from Ireland. Do they celebrate? Is it the same celebration in Ireland, or is it like a commodified American holiday?
It's a good question. It's a
Not
good
sure.
question. I don't actually think they do celebrate St. Patrick's Day
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
in
know.
in Ireland. Hmm.
I don't know, but like I said, this thing they have at the Benson Theater is a celebration of Irish heritage and culture, is what it's called.
Okay.
So it is Irish people that live in America that are celebrating their heritage in that way. So maybe it is just a maybe I don't know. I'm not really sure about it, but if you guys know, let us know because we already talked about it longer than I felt like I wanted to, and
There you go. There you go.
let us know let us know if you celebrate it, if there's and a little bit of the history of it, if you don't mind. Appreciate it. Moving on, there is some stories and some things that we definitely want to jump into today. Jump back into like how we were in season 4, following the money, and there's a couple of things that's going on. I hit a couple financial pages, and I was like, oh, here's where some information is. Okay,
Hmm.
so we'll definitely look into some of that stuff. As a matter of fact, buddy, you want to run down a few things we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, yeah, definitely continuing to look at the bills and also some bills dealing with some money and some appropriation. So also following the bag, of course, LB 1024 had those big hearings over this week of LB 531 and I believe 786 was that the one? Again, those are the two bills laying out the details and the following steps for LB 1024. Again, those made their way to the floor this week, so we'll definitely talk about that. Also, looking forward to speaking to the senators, so getting an update directly from them will be nice. Also, looking forward to speaking with Senator McKinney about some housing bills that he has. There's actually several housing bills that made their way to the floor this week, and actually to the tune of I believe like 600 million or so requested in housing bills and housing support. So yeah, we will definitely, yep, $600 million in state investment requested just on Wednesday, from a total of 5 affordable housing bills. So we'll definitely be getting into some affordable housing this week or in this episode. Also looking at Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, man. A big shout out again to IB Black Girl who had their lobbying day yesterday, and they were a lot of bills on the floor that they were looking at in regards to rights for women, their bodily autonomy. And looks like Senator Michaela Cavanaugh wasn't having any of the blockage, any of the hateration and the dancery, if you will. We'll dive into it, man. Big shout out to Senator Michaela Cavanaugh. Also, looking at some of the development that's going on in the Nodo area, North Omaha downtown, as they're calling it. Yeah. We'll dive into it, man.
Or as
Creighton,
we
Creek.
call it, the North Side.
Hey, it's still North Side to me, man. I'm gonna call him North Side. I'm gonna call him North Side.
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, a possible health center, maybe even a soccer stadium coming to the area. Yeah, man, we'll talk about it and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you feel like we should be talking about and we're not, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. More importantly, but it's about 15 minutes into the hour. Without further ado, Paul, you all right?
Good, man. I'm good. We ready to
All
roll?
right. Ready to roll, man. All of you, the chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody in attendance, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Paul B, first guy in Omaha. Let's go.
Let's do it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, what up? You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, people all over the states. I appreciate everybody chiming in from Texas, California, from Las Vegas. Really appreciate everybody coming on in. And, of course, Atlanta, where Buddi3 Da Gawd is at right now. As a matter of fact, they were talking about Atlanta. Said, Christy Norris said Savannah, Georgia has a huge St. Patty's Day celebration. How far is Savannah? Do you know how far Savannah is from Atlanta? Don't look like you're too sure yet.
Yeah, like 2 hours or so.
Oh, okay,
It's several hours. It's several hours.
I had a couple friends that were from Savannah, lived in Savannah. We also had some family members in Savannah as well too.
Nice.
Remember, my cousin Alfie was out in Savannah for a while visiting his mom before she passed away. So that's what's up.
My dad and my uncle spent some times in Savannah after the military, like before I was born. Spent some time out there.
They keep on telling me it's got a nice beach and everything else, man. Come on, come check it out. Ariel's 402 says, I've been to Savannah, Georgia, Tybee Island. That's what's up. Is that where the Geechee people's at?
Actually, yeah, there are some spots off the coast of Georgia where there are some Gullah Geechee, populations. But I was just gonna say you don't really think of beach, you know what I'm saying, when you think of Georgia. But there's some beach side and there's some coastline here in Georgia that you might want to check out. Not just Savannah. But I hear Augusta is pretty nice as well.
Right.
So yeah, man. Yeah. Apparently, I am right near the beach.
Appreciate that very much. Pop says Savannah to Atlanta, 250 miles. He knows. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I'm sad I didn't recognize that we had family there before. I don't think we have any family there anymore after cousin's mom passed away. I think that was the last family that we had out there. So, and then my friends that lived out there just moved out to California. So I guess I'll just be a tourist if I go to Savannah this time around.
Hey, you come down here and we can check it out together. Yeah,
man. Yeah, if it's a beach, if I'm coming to visit you and there's a beach a couple hours away, we going.
Make it happen.
Your boy was hanging out with Brother Buffett last night. Over at Omaha Film Festival. Omaha Film Festival gets down. I went to go see a film that a friend of mine called and said, "Hey, we got a mutual friend that's got a film in, and go check it out." And I was like, not feeling, me. It's after work. I'm like, man, I don't feel like going nowhere. Let me make myself going down here. I went down, and it turns out this film was a film that he interviewed Warren Buffett, and then so Warren Buffett showed up to the screening. And then sat on the panel and did some talked about the film and all that. So yeah, that was really, really brought me back, man. Every year I usually go to the Omaha Film Festival. I call it my staycation. And this year I haven't been able to go because I've been working too much. But I'm glad I went last night. It just reminded me like how electric and exciting the Omaha Film Festival is, man. To be around so many, and it's really well done. They said that it's really well done. I've been to a lot of film festivals around the country, and this one is really, really well done. So it just reminded me about that world, that this is the world we was in and came from, bro. So you know what I'm saying? It's still rolling. It rolls on without us at the time. So it was good. It was good to hang out and see what was up and understand what was going on yesterday with the films and what the Omaha Film Festival was doing and what Warren Buffett's talking about. He's talking about it's a good year, man. We talked about it all the time too. If we in the state with Warren Buffett, ain't no reason why we don't follow some of the financial advice he has and take advantage of some of the classes and stuff that's built around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, why be in the state with a cat who is the number one investor? We out here trying to learn about investing and get to the point where we can have some retirement and so on and so forth. And this cat's the number one investor of all time, starting from zero. You know what I'm saying?
Call him the Oracle for a
Yeah,
reason.
it's really real. So anyway, yeah, if you have any Warren Buffett stories, I put it on my page, and I already had people chiming up saying stuff like, "Yeah, he held the door open for me at a Dairy Queen and stuff."
Okay, all right.
Anybody got any Warren Buffett stories around town? Let us know. Pops in the chat says St. Patrick's Day was a religious holiday in Ireland, but when the immigrants hit America, they turned it into a party. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as we do here in America, what happened. Rickford says bashing West Side community is not a, earlier he was said I wish members of the legislature education committee wouldn't bash the West Side school district while arguing for tax credits for private schools. Bashing West Side community is not a way to get our support for McKinney Priority Bill LB 531. Okay, keep that on the back burner. When the senators come on, we'll definitely talk about that. I kind of want to dig into that a little bit more, if you don't mind. He said, "Oh, weird because Senator Linehan's son is a West Side High graduate." Okay, so you got a little information on there. We'll definitely take a look at that. What you got going on? But in the meantime, between time, yeah, it has been a heavy week in the legislature, and a lot of people have gone up. You mentioned I Be Black Girl; they were represented up there. A lot of people have gone up to support some bills and to fight other ones. Can't wait to have the senators on to talk about some of that stuff. Also, Michaela Cavanaugh, like I said, the star. Senator Michaela Cavanaugh put some respect on her name, shutting things down, making it uncomfortable for people. So, in a good way, getting in some good trouble with them. So, can't wait to jump in and talk about what happened there. Brother Rick Fulton, did you go up to the legislature or did you watch it? Just wondering wondering who was participated there as well. If you did, let us know. I'd love to hear your firsthand information on it. So,
I do remember Brother Rick saying he was going down to visit McKinney and Wayne. So I wonder if he caught any, public comment while he was down there. That is a
yeah,
good question.
or any private stuff behind the scene. Anybody whispering? Tell us what's going on down there. Love to hear about
Give
it.
us some tea.
Yeah. In the meantime, let's jump into a couple of the stories here before we get to the guests that are going to be coming in shortly, buddy. What's on the agenda this morning?
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of the tea, I mean, you kind of teed it up quite nicely. So let's go ahead and dive into exactly what Senator Michaela Cavanaugh has been getting into, as Paul called it, some good trouble, man. Being a thorn to the side, if you will, of a few legislators trying to filibuster, or for those of you who are not familiar, filibustering or basically talking for as long as possible to block possible legislation from passing. And Michaela Cavanaugh has done just that during a Senate meeting on Thursday night, saying during the meeting, if this legislature collectively decides that legislating hate against children is our priority, then I'm going to make it painful for everyone. If you want to inflict pain upon our children, I'm going to inflict pain upon this body. And I have nothing but time, and I'm going to use all of it. Of course, the bill that Senator Cavanaugh is against and deals with minors being blocked from receiving gender affirming health care, including puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgery. The measure introduced by Senator Kathleen Koff, who is a Republican, would also prohibit any institution or provider of such care to minors from receiving state funding. So again, for those might be teens who might be part of the LGBTQ community who might seek that type of treatment, again, will be blocked. And not only that, but any service provider who decides to provide and assist and serve, that youth could lose their money. And again, you hit them where the pockets is. That's kind of a telltale sign of what the goal is. Kavanaugh also spoke with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow, so she's making national news with this filibuster. She says, so I'm just going to practically make sure that my colleagues have to make a choice about what it is they want to do, what our job is. Is our job to legislate hate, or is our job to govern and work on tax cuts and work on the economy? So I'm forcing their hand, again, or referring to some of the legislation that we're seeing in regards to targeting the LGBTQ community. And if you remember, this kind of stems in and kind of moves on the back of the statewide debate and back and forth that there was of changing the school health standards. Again, there was talk about changing school health standards to be more inclusive of students who might be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. There's a lot of pushback. There's some kind of behind the scenes moves and essentially it didn't go through. It was completely gutted. The language was taken out, at least the language that addressed that portion of marginalized communities. And now we're seeing this type of legislation on the floor. So definitely would love to talk to Senator Cavanaugh about her stance on it, and why she feels where the fight really is. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, Senator Cavanaugh is a friend of First Sky Omaha. She's been on the show before. We'd love to have her back and talk about this. I hesitate to ask her to come on right now while she's in the middle of all this stuff. So when it gets done, then I'll definitely ask her to come on through and give us some highlights of what she thought. So she's playing the game. My first thoughts are I'm still learning how the game is being played here with the legislature, how they got to do things, their procedures. Some of the filibustering that she did, I watched a little bit of it yesterday. She went through some of how things work in the unicameral, which she spent some of that time that she had there to kind of break down, like to anybody who was listening, how things work in the unicameral and how things work on the floor and what the rules are and so on and so forth. And that was some good information. So I got to understand why she was doing what she was doing and how. And then my like I said, I can't wait to talk to the senators about it. But my impressions were that you gotta have a certain kind of tenacity to do what she did yesterday. She was kind of on fire all day long, man, and knew that she was gonna make things uncomfortable. Was making things uncomfortable on purpose, and to push this point. So she read a lot of testimony. So people who wrote letters and they're now in the public record because she read them out loud there. I mean, they're in the public record when you write them anyway, but she read those out loud, just to some testimonies, spent the time there because there's plenty of support for this, and a lot of families that were saying this is what we need in order for our child was suicidal even before they're living a life that they want to change, and you got to please help them change. Don't make it be that they don't have any resources. And so it was she was pulling at the heartstrings with it. She was pulling out all the stops really to try to make this point. So I think it's pretty interesting, the process, what it is that she did, the fact that like IB Black Girl came out to support certain things with the Planned Parenthood. I guess they were there with Planned Parenthood as well. So just the whole scene of having the support there, her on the microphone, even some of the drama of some of the senators that didn't want her to be on the microphone. So when they took their time, a couple of them, one of them in particular stood there in silence for his just burning up minutes. That meant that she wasn't on the mic. So just the strategies, man. It's really kind of some Chinese checkers going on it's kind of a trip.
Man, I mean, we've heard senators go as far as read Dr. Seuss on the floor. You know what I mean, trying to block bills. So yeah, man, it can get deep, and the strategies can get kind of weird and wonky, if you will. But it is interesting to see some of the strategies. But we do have an article diving into the bicameral and unicameral in that conversation, because there could be some possible changes with that. So we kind of jump into the chat. There's some comments, but I definitely want to hear what you said. Senator Cavanaugh kind of broke down some things while she was filibustering about the unicameral and why it was important, and that kind of clarified some things for you. So I kind of want to what was clarified for you. What did you gain from that?
Just, I mean, for me, it was just what filibustering is all about and why, and like what it means, how long you're on the microphone, what that means for the way that they're trying to influence other people to vote differently. Just kind of more of the reasons why the rules are what they are there. It just kind of just stood out to me, just understanding a little bit about what the whole process is about, what it's about. They're trying to stop certain bills from happening. They got some tools to do that. Filibustering is one of them. I remember reporting a few years back or last year or something like that. They were trying to vote. They were trying to act like they were just trying to take filibustering away at one point. So, they're always trying to like strategize and do something, make it so that they can push their points. I will jump into the chat a little bit. Marianne Williams says we don't have enough Democrats to launch a successful filibuster to actually stop bills, but they can still use the filibuster rules to slow the process down. So, Yeah, the techniques to slow the process down or stop different bills or you know, so on and so forth. Interesting stuff. I didn't know that point right there, that we don't have enough Democrats to launch a successful filibuster to actually stop bills.
Hmm.
But that's why she kept saying, man, she's there to make things uncomfortable, which is really interesting to me. She says there's a finite number of days in the session to pass the bills. So you know, that's another factor involved there. If you
Yeah.
can use up the time, then some, you know, you can stop some things from going through. So
In this article, it says the legislature has about 518 hours left to pass no more than 42 bills. And we know, sometimes each bill, you might be talking about each bill for up to 6-7 hours. And you gotta, so yeah. Once you kind of do the math, you can see the strategy.
so how they gonna get through 800 of them is a real question.
Right, right.
Jumping back into the chat a little earlier in the chat, Marianne Williams said, "Good morning, good morning to you." She says, "I didn't hear them bash the schools." Talking about earlier, Rick Fulton was talking about them bashing West Side schools. They were asking why West Side students are worth more than North O, and Wayne said it's easier to get in Worried if you play football
I think she said
well.
West Side.
In West Side, if you play football well, football is a consideration for lots of predominantly white schools and colleges. Interesting. Okay. Brother Knight is in the chat. Good morning to you. He says prepubescent and pubescent children shouldn't be influenced proactively with any form of gender or sexual agendas. Imagination is a powerful entity, period. Okay. I think that some people do believe that, and some people are taking that to some extremes. What I'm hearing people talk about on the floor as well. But everybody believes what they believe. The opposition sometimes believes that their children are getting indoctrinated a different way. So I think that, to me, it always comes back to that point. Like, what is indoctrination exactly? When are kids being indoctrinated? How much influence should the school have on that? Because really, we can't shy away from that word. That's actually what's happening, especially with really young kids.
Hmm.
One way or another, they're being indoctrinated by their home environment, their house, their parents, or the school, or elsewhere.
Internet.
Very nuanced question. Also, let's see. Rick Fulton says, "I hope nothing gets passed. Thanks, Cavanaugh." Brother Knight said, "Most people today don't even understand what the principle of gender really is." Okay. Well, we can put these ideas out there. Let's definitely do that. Belief, there's a relative and absolute truth only. Well, I think that's something else. That's something else that is people believe in absolute truth. Some people don't. So definitely,
Yeah,
let's,
that is the thing.
yeah. Um, got to acknowledge everybody in some of those things. So yeah, appreciate that information. Rick Fulton says, "Did you hear the Olson recommendation for the 1024 money is now out the window?" Did
I
not
did
hear
not
that.
hear that. No, no, but
I don't think that's the case. So we've been following this pretty closely. That's not some news that we got there. It's moved on to those two new bills. Five.
um, I will say though that Senator McKinney did issue a couple other recommendations. Like he recommended in LB 531 that the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation get like
Mhm.
20 million. A couple others. So I didn't hear that, but today will be a good day to get some clarification on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We following pretty closely, like the next step processes here for what the money that's coming in. That's kind of why we followed the money today on a couple other things that are coming in. I do remember talking about the Malcolm X money and stuff like that coming from other bills. So there's other monies that are out there that doesn't have anything to do with the 1024 that they're also talking about and moving on as well. So
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him about it because because now that you mentioned that there was again also a part of moving the funding source from ARPA funds to the state's
mhm,
general reserve. So yeah, we'll talk to the senators about that to get more clarification. Definitely now that 531 and 785 it's 786 or
we
785.
always
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
which
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Keep getting those mixed up. But now that those bills have gone to the floor. I would definitely love to hear from the senators. But you mentioned something that I want to get back into with the Kavanaugh story,
Mhm.
as far as senators going to the extremes with some of their beliefs and the things that they're saying. You had mentioned that there was some people who went down to give comment that was disrespected by some of the senators. Could you get into that side? That's not being reported here in the article, but yeah, that was some of the background situations that you were explaining a little off air. Could you get
Say,
into that?
say that again. What?
As far as what some of the senators were saying to the people while when Senator Cavanaugh
Yeah,
was
yeah.
giving feedback. Again, that's not in the article, but that's
Right.
some information that I did want to go over.
Yeah, there was a some reports. So people that were showing up. This is what we're doing. We're asking people to go show up and support these bills or fight the bills. Apparently, some victims, victims of sexual assault, went up to support uh, or actually to fight one of the bills. I can't remember which one they were doing, but they went up and they went up to the Capitol. They went to go talk to some of the legislature. There's a moment in time where they're able to leave the floor and go talk to the visitors, the people that have come down to support their constituents, basically, and they come down and talk to the people who voted them in. Or whatever, and they went down to talk to them, and apparently a bunch of the men in the legislature were very, very rude. She didn't name any, but she said there were five of them in particular that she got reports from. She said as she started talking about that during the unicameral session, people started texting her during this session and giving her even more reports of bad behavior that way. They were going out to talk to sexual assault victims. These sexual assault victims are telling their stories to these senators, and these senators are saying stuff like, "Well, go get a better husband. Well, why didn't you leave? Well, all the things that misogynists need. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that we learn not to. You don't say. That's not how you act with sexual assault victims at all.
Mm-hmm.
So she was very, very, very upset about that. Called them out on that, and stood on that point for a little while. Calling them out like this is not how you act. You're sitting here with us every day. You're representing and you're doing us a disservice, and all the men who know not to act like that a disservice, and it's ridiculous. So I thought that that was part of the thing that she was super super fired up about too, and she definitely used that fire to keep pushing that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was really messed up. Really kind of. I hope that they were embarrassed. I really hope that they were embarrassed
Yeah.
with how they treated folks. And I'm anxious to talk to somebody from IB Black Girl. Precious, I think Precious was down there with them. We'll talk to her and find out if that's the way they got treated, because tons of reports came in while she was standing on the floor about bad behavior that way. So like I said, man, this is not stuff everybody's going to be reporting on and seeing. You kind of got to watch the unicamera. You got to see what's going on in order to really understand like what they're up against and what's going on, and get a better picture of it and see it for yourself. And so yeah, that was a very, very interesting part of yesterday's situation. So she said, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't ask me who. I'm not gonna name anybody. If
Yeah.
the press comes up and asks me who said it, I'm not gonna name anybody. But you know who you are. That was
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. That session really got me like, I got to go look up some old Ernie Chambers sessions, man. That's what it got me. I'm going, like she's fiery, but like Ernie Chambers was, I am your God, and he used to go off.
Man.
He used to go off.
Yeah. What she did was mild compared to Brother Chambers. Put some respect on his name for sure.
That's really real.
The Great American Drama, man, call it that for a reason. But big shout out to those who did go out and speak. And yeah, I would like to know, even if we can't find out, what senators were acting that way, maybe we can find out who was treated that way. That is a good question. I would like to know that at least. But yeah, man, that's senators acting that way. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Most deaf. Appreciate everybody that's jumping into the chat. I see a lot of activity in the chat here. Let's keep in mind everybody has different beliefs, so these are not lessons for everybody in the chat, but this is an opportunity to draw out people for conversation. If you have some questions or you want to engage people in conversation, then that's one thing. So please can remember to do that. Really appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Stuart and Brother Knight is wrapping this conversation up that we're having right now. It says discrimination denotes discernment.
Yeah.
That's
The
really
three
interesting.
Ds. I like that. I like that one. Um, but yeah. Let's also keep in mind that we try to keep these conversations solutions based. So let's keep that in mind as well.
Yep, yep. Appreciate
But
that.
yeah, speaking of that, let's keep it moving.
Yep.
Well, actually, you want to smell the coffee beans? You want to keep it moving? How we feeling?
It's 7:40. I know the brothers gonna come on here pretty soon, so let's jump into the next thing so we can make sure that we get out some of the things that you guys wanted to talk about. Some of the things you guys threw in the Friends of First Sky Omaha too. Just want to make sure that we can speak on some of the things that everybody wanted to talk about. So let's jump to the next story real quick before the brothers come on.
Well, speaking of people throwing things in the Friends of First Sky Omaha page, definitely go check that out. Tell a friend and tell a friend if you haven't become a member of that page. But shout out to Sister Kimra Snipes for dropping some things in the chat talking about housing. Some articles. One from the Hill says the housing affordability hits a historic low. She's even put out a I guess this is a survey for homelessness. He says, "How much do you know about homelessness in America?" Take this quiz to find out. And I will urge everybody to go to the Friends Up page and take that quiz. I'm gonna check that out because I'm pretty sure there's a lot about homelessness that we don't know, and a lot of people on the verge of homelessness. Housing is definitely still an issue, and not just North Omaha, but really the world. I don't know if you've been hearing about what's going on in the UK, but there's some housing things going on out there. People's utility bills are tripling out there.
Mm.
Yeah, man, it's getting bad all over the world, and United States is no exception. And housing is seems to be getting worse. But there are bills that are out there. Big shout out to not only Senator Vargas but also Senator McKinney. In addition to some of the bills that he introduced for LB 1024 on Wednesday, there were a pair of housing bills that he introduced. So we'll definitely be getting into that. But before then, we'll definitely love to talk about Senator Vargas's bill, which I find personally interesting. LB 248, which went to the floor on Wednesday. Nearly 20 other states and 100 cities, according to Senator Vargas, have enacted bills similar to LB 248, which will make it unlawful to deny an apartment to someone based on their source of income. As somebody who is self-employed, source of income is it's interesting. It's very interesting when dealing with housing and how to approve a house. Definitely living here in Atlanta with a lot of influencers, YouTubers, a lot of self-employed, young people. It's always interesting when I tell a property manager that I'm self-employed and kind of see like their response.
To be like,
Yeah.
you slanging, you slanging. What you doing?
But then, I mean, of course, you got to have your business and order taxes and all of that. But just the interest of that, and again, not just being self-employed, but those who are relying on government assistance. And that's really who this bill is aiming and for, aimed at opening more doors to people who rely on financial benefits such as Social Security and federal housing vouchers to cover rent. Vargas said that landlords still will be able to use screening methods such as credit and background checks, but again, they would not be able, if this bill passes, to deny applicants based on their source of income. And we talked about this as far as how it's possibly shaping gentrification and the demographics in North Omaha. Again, properties in North Omaha aren't accepting Section 8 vouchers anymore. And again, this bill could possibly address that directly on. Again, most of the Section 8 vouchers are available out in West Omaha. So talking about keeping low income families in North Omaha, especially at a time when all of these resources are coming into the community, this bill can go go a ways towards that. In the committee, Vargas says we need to make sure we are removing barriers. This is going to impact long-term earnings, childhood educational achievement, and the likelihood of ending up in our justice system. So again, he's not only talking about the type of housing that these families can get in, but also the communities that they can get in, the areas of town that they can get in as well. So.
I believe you said this is a bill that Brother McKinney was also a part of.
Yeah, well, again, six different bills, or excuse me, 5 different bills presented on Wednesday, and McKinney's bills were part of those bills presented Wednesday, to the tune of $600 million total investment between those 5 bills.
Okay. Well, we got the brother. We can hear from the horse's mouth right now because we can bring out the brother senator on. Brother senator sitting in the wings. Hey, my man,
What's
Terrell
up?
McKinney. Put some respect on his name. Good morning to you. How are you doing this
Morning,
morning,
bro.
bro?
How y'all doing?
All
Not
right,
bad,
all right.
bro. Not bad. Not bad. On happy that it's Friday. I can tell you that. I'm gonna definitely do a little
Yeah, man.
sleeping in tomorrow morning. But how about yourself? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I got a little headache, but I'm straight.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you might need a little siesta, a siesta fiesta yourself, man. Get a little nap in. But we definitely appreciate you for joining us this morning, especially had a busy week going back and forth down to the Capitol. And of course, we'll definitely be diving into the LB 1024 bills that went to the floor this week. But I do want to jump into the conversation we're having now about housing, and I know you, in addition to LB 531 and I believe 786. We're getting mixed up. 786, 785. I know one is the bill addressing LB 1024, and the other is addressing housing. So, can you speak to the pair of housing bills that you had this week?
786 dealt with some funds for housing to do some mixed use housing development in North Omaha. And I honestly just brought the bill because I think we have to diversify our housing stock, and we need to, you know, devote more money to housing. The appropriations committee has some big decisions to make around housing this year to kind of see where are we going to invest in housing, because everyone says housing is like one of the biggest crises in our state, but I don't know if there's like a lot of willingness to address it, and not just address it just for or through affordable housing, but we need single family homes. We need mixed use development. We just don't need low income housing. We need a diversified housing stock, and we got to figure it out, because I don't know how we grow. You can't grow the state if you don't have housing. It's no matter what, if you're in Omaha or you're in Western Nebraska.
I mean, we've seen the development in Omaha, but most of them are apartments, kind of the mixed use. You have retail spaces at the bottom, apartments at the top. There's been a lot of those. I've been kind of speaking about the missing middle in Omaha as far as the type of housing that you're talking about. But can you, from your perspective, speak more about that importance? Like, why is it important that we have more than apartments? Like some people will say, that's housing. That's a place to live. So why is it important, the type of housing?
I would say for kind of North Omaha, from my perspective, I think we need more than just apartments, because we need ownership. We need
Hmm.
people owning homes and things like that. A lot of the individuals that live in North Omaha are renters, and I think we got to change that. And that's why I would say it
Okay.
honestly, because apartments are cool, but not everybody wants to live in an apartment forever. So
Hmm.
some people eventually want to own a home, and people just don't want to own a home or have to own a home, but move out of North Omaha. Why can't I buy a home down here? That's
Right.
nice as well.
Okay. Okay. And then I know you had another bill. What was the other bill addressing? It was another housing bill.
Did I have another housing bill? Which
You
Yeah.
number?
ask me. If you gotta tell us. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, Paul, actually, do you still have that graphic that you had on Wednesday?
Yeah.
You were using. Can you pull that up? Because it was the top two bills on that graphic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
LB 270.
Oh, 270 was a bill that dealt with the rental registry here in Omaha. And what
Okay. What's that?
So basically, the rental registry is a registry that landlords are supposed to comply with, but they're not complying with it. So I brought the
Mm,
bill to have them comply with the rental registry, to make sure that they're following, city code ordinances, and making sure they don't have code violations in the homes that they rent to people. And also, a part of the bill was to say that they had to replace old lead service lines that are running from the homes, because the property owners and the landowners actually are supposed to remove those, not the city. And
Mm.
in North Omaha, a lot of the homes have lead service pipes, and everybody know the harmful effects of lead. And
mm,
then also another part of the bill was to say that if the city finds any code violations in a property or a home, they have to notify the tenants. And also, if the city is going to condemn a property, they have to come up with a displacement plan for the residents they before they displace them.
Okay, okay. As you're talking about that, I'm thinking of former Tommy Rose situation. I forget what the name of it was. We had
Yeah,
individuals from the Korean community, mostly in those apartments. Palladino esque type situations. Is that kind of what the mentality is?
yeah,
Addressing that.
yep. That and Legacy Crossing.
Yep. So again, and this is requiring this checklist to be covered before people are moving in. And you're saying currently that's not the case. Like people are moving into properties with all types of violations already.
Yes.
Man, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, we talked about the tower situation, and we'll definitely have to get an update with the ladies who have been in conversation with OHA about that. But the living conditions, because that is a one thing. It's not just enough to be able to afford a place and to get into a place, but it has to be up to par. Like it has to be not just affordable, but quality living conditions as well. Do you feel like what is the chances of these bills making it through the legislature?
786. That's gonna be tough, just because of the amount of money people are asking for. 270, I could see it passing. A version of the bill got voted out 2 years ago onto general foul. I just wasn't able to get it passed because we ran out of time. So I don't know. Maybe it. I think it should pass because I think it's a no brainer. And I think when people talk about affordable housing, one, I don't think we have affordable housing in North Omaha. And we also got unsafe homes in North Omaha. It's like they're unaffordable and they're unsafe. And people talk about the health impacts of people. Well, people really don't talk about the health impacts of living in unsafe homes, like especially with small kids.
Man.
And homes that do have lead pipes could be very harmful. And it's no surprise we got higher cases of like autism and asthma and all those type of things, and you compound that with the power plant down here too. So it's messed up down here. We got to change it.
Man, speaking of that, it just kind of reminds me.
We need to put that on a t-shirt. It's messed up down here. Got to change
Man,
it.
hey, I like that. I like that as a
Yeah.
shirt. But that reminds me again. Douglas County has acknowledged, health as a racial disparity, or I forget the language, but they acknowledged the connection between health, demographics, health, statistics, and racism, and systemic racism. Is there any discussion or any bills on the state level addressing that or talking about that? That was just a thought that comes to mind.
Systemic racism.
As far as again, just Douglas County's acknowledgement of the relationship between systemic racism and health disparities.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's been bills to kind of address some health issues. Like Senator Wayne has a bill to address PTSD. I think that that's a part of it too. There's nothing. There hasn't been anything like super specific, but there's been bills to kind of address some of the negatives of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of with Brianna Full. She says racism is a public health crisis. I definitely agree.
Just want to jump into the chat real quick. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat and having discussions amongst yourself. But we also want to respect the senator's time. For those of you that are missing Brother Wayne, he's trying to get on now. He's having some connection issues, so he's trying to come on. Also, Brother McKinney's got to leave a little earlier today too, so we want to make sure that we can talk to him about everything. So if you guys can hold off on your personal conversations or have personal conversations together with each other, then we appreciate that. Let's use the chat to ask the questions of the senators and respect their time and so on and so forth. If you have any questions for the senators, if you were a part of what was going on this week, as a matter of fact, too, we'd love to hear from you. So please put that, talk about that in the chat. Put that in the chat. And we can address that with the senators as well. I watched a lot of the session yesterday. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on, first of all, how did the week go as far as what you think as far as support and stuff is concerned? Because we try to put a little extra effort in making sure that we had some people that can come support and so on and so forth. Tell me how the week went. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Senator Michaela Cavanaugh. Put some respect on her name. Seemed like she was in there holding it down yesterday in a big way. And then update on the 530 the two bills that have taken place now 1024 that I can't never remember the numbers of. Those are the three things that I would kind of wanted to ask you about, man, and get your thoughts and opinion on.
I would say this week support was great. You know, there was a lot of people down in Lincoln this week, almost
Good.
every day. Definitely on the days where we had the hearings for the bills. Um, the hearing for 531 I thought was great. The one yesterday was great as well. You know, different perspectives from both North and South Omaha, and not everybody just speaking on like one topic. Everybody was hitting a lot of great points, and I thought that was amazing.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's what's up.
Yeah,
Looks like brother Wayne is on. He's just gonna have his voice on today, though. So, are you there, brother Wayne?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear
Loud
you
and
loud
clear.
and clear, man. Appreciate you coming on through this morning. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Good, good, good.
Glad to hear that. How was your? I don't know if you heard me at that question I just asked, brother McKinney. But what did you think about the turnout this week and the support this week on everything that's happened? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it was a good turnout. People came down. People spoke. There was some critical. They made some critiques of the Olson, which was good, but they also said that we're trying to address it with the amendment. So it looks like we're open and we're getting things done. And I think the legislature was really impressed how North and South Omaha came together, and really how just North Omaha in general came together. So I thought it was really good. Everybody, all the senators gave me good feedback.
That's what's
Beautiful,
up.
beautiful. We were kind of reading through the
Let me
bills.
let me let me jump in real quick. Earlier,
Huh?
because I just want to address Brother Rick Fulton. Now that we
Yeah,
have both
yep.
the senators on, early in the chat, Brother Fulton asked, "Did you hear the Olson recommendation for the 1024 money is now out the window?" We kind of explained it wasn't from what we were following, but maybe we missed something. Is that the case?
No, no. So all we're doing is using Olson as a starting point, and then you still got to apply somewhere, and that's the. I mean, we keep saying that over and over. You still have to apply someplace. So DED is that where you apply at. So even DED has to go through and review applications to make sure that they can actually complete the job they say they're going to do. So there's still going to be another application and review process, just by the nature of you have to apply somewhere.
Okay.
So,
But you have to be in the Olson report. You can't. It can't be somebody who didn't apply before. So you still have to be in the Olson report, and you still got to use the Olson report.
there
All
you
right.
go. And we were trying to get a little clarification on that as far as just what changed with LB 785 and LB 531. Two of the things. One, you mentioned there still has to be somewhere for people to apply. I did see. I believe it was 785. There's a creation of the grant program, and that's through the Department of Economic Development. Is that what that is for, to have a location, like a vehicle
Yeah,
for people to
it's
apply
just
to?
it gives DED the enabling language to authorize that process to go out, and then the amendment that Senator McKinney put together also has a program manager. One of our fears right now is DED won't be able to get this money out in time, and so
Mm.
we saw the DED director said that he's still trying to hire 20 to 40 people. And from our perspective, we know how tight the job market is, and we can't wait for 40 people to be hired before North Omaha gets this money.
Yeah.
So just one. All you saying is we need one manager. So can you kind of expand on that? Can you kind of clarify also just some of the other things that 531 and 785 address? I mean, I did a quick read through. I saw that there was a kind of speaking to the timing of things. There was a change from ARPA funds to the state's reserves. Can you just address just some of the big takeaways that 531 and 785 address?
Well, I mean, I'll start off on the one about the timing. So we kept hearing that they might be trying to move some money for water funds. So I think what we try to do is preempt that by going to some Lincoln senators and some rural senators who had some water bills, and said, "Hey, we're going to ask for an additional 100 to 150 million. In exchange, you can use ARPA and we'll use cash." So we're swapping out ARPA money for cash, and there's basically two big reasons. One, again, it goes back to DED not maybe being able to get the money out in time. And according to ARPA, you have to have this money spent by 2026. Well, if they don't get the money out, let's say until August or September, we damn near miss another construction season. So now I'm concerned about that money being spent in that fast of time. The second thing is when dealing with the feds, there's the last rules that came out are over 400 pages, and I think for small businesses that might be a huge burden. So if we can use state cash, then it frees up some of those rules. It frees up some of those controversies that may be out there. So, and I'll give you one quick example, and I'll let Senator McKinney talk about his amendment. Is in the rules, there's a debate going on that started last August that if somebody buys property with ARPA dollars, they have to keep that property for 15 years. Well, maybe a small business may upgrade and say, I need to buy a bigger building. Um, but then you got to go through this process of sending out the treasury a letter, a notification saying you bought this property with ARPA. Can you release this property so I can sell it? And there's just this debate among lawyers that started in August, September of last year, that the more we keep looking at it, we say, man, there might be so many rules and regs around this federal dollars. It makes more sense if we can use cash, state funds, and not have to deal with those rules and regs.
It's just wrapped up in so much red tape that you don't even want to touch it, basically.
Pretty much. And you ain't got to look no farther than South Omaha, what they're trying to do with the OHA projects over there. That project, they've been talking about it for 5 years, but part of the reason it's been so slow is that money is all, that land was all bought with federal money. So you got to get approval from DC to even do anything sometimes. And the more and more those regs came out as we were going through this process, and the slower that it took us to get money out as a state to individuals, it just raised a red flag for us. And so this ain't a done deal. We might still be stuck with ARPA dollars, but our goal is to try to, in this amendment, to try to move some of those ARPA dollars away and replace them with general funds, cash funds, to free up those restrictions.
Senator McKinney, your amendment.
Yeah. The other parts of the amendment directs DD to when considering applicants to look at the coordination plan, as Justin said. It also allocates money in the amendment to a museum named after somebody in the Hall of Fame, and also sends some funds to federally qualified health centers. And also hires a program manager to address the issue with making sure it's implemented correctly and monitored properly, so we can avoid any thing from happening that could be super negative.
Man, I appreciate that kind of weaving that medical center, the health center, into the amendment, man. I mean, we've seen hospitals in the north side, fall by the wayside, and now all we have is clinics. So yeah, I appreciate that personally. I'm kind of curious if this timing situation does become a problem, and knock on wood, we don't meet that deadline. What happens to that money if it's not spent by 2026?
Goes back to
it goes back to the feds.
Yeah.
And so, and again, and so, like, for example, if you read the bill, it says it'll go to a first class city. Well, that's Lincoln. Lincoln got the $300 million water project they have to do because they're a growing city and their infrastructure is a little old. Well, if we get that to Lincoln, we all start picking up more votes, and we're pushing for an extra 150 to 200 million, and they're supporting that push. That's kind of the inside the baseball, of what goes on in Lincoln.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Appreciate it. It's 8:03 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, a couple questions I wanted to jump into the chat real quick. I know that Brother Terrell has a limited time today, so I definitely want to get to these questions and then get to talking about what happened yesterday. Get your thoughts on the filibuster and so on and so forth. Ariel's 402 is asking, did the concealed carry bill get passed? Also, Marianne Williams is asking senators, it was very disappointing the Department of Education came out against the school suspension bills. Is there any way to get them on board? What's you guys' answer there?
So on the suspension bill, I'm on the education committee, and we are actually having a strong conversation next week about putting that in part of a package, a committee package. Believe it or not, there's been some senators out in rural Nebraska who were suspended in kindergarten and in first grade, and they can remember those experiences like it was yesterday, and they were very, very upset with the education establishment for coming
Wow.
out against that.
Wow. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was mind boggling. I'm like, in what world do you think it's cool to just be suspending pre kindergartners? Like I know
Yeah.
kids are bad, but we need to have alternatives and we need to have alternatives plans. I and then when you look at the school to prison pipeline, when you look at the learning gap drop off is right after second grade, and they're cool with suspending these kids, and it just doesn't make sense to me at all. I was suspended that young, and it didn't work and it didn't help at all. It was just you suspended me. I'm going home to play video games and watch cartoons.
The day off. It's a day
That's
off.
how I
Yeah.
was, man. I was definitely like that too. I'd rather be home yeah. Okay, yeah, I appreciate the updates on that. We've been talking about it all day, all morning before you guys came in, just about how important this week was. We've been trying to push people to come and support. I know that IB Black Girl came up and represented yesterday. I watched a lot of the unit camera yesterday, seeing what Michaela Cavanaugh has done. Put some respect on her name. What's your thoughts on her filibuster and everything that went down yesterday? I came in on a time where she was admonishing some other senators for how they were acting with some of their constituents. That was pretty fiery. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought she was going to turn the desk over or something. I was like, man, all I know is that it made me be like, I gotta go find some old Ernie Chambers filibuster moments, and because this is very I don't want to call it entertaining, but man, super
Intense.
interesting. Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. Um, give us your viewpoints on that from your perspectives, if you would.
Uh,
Um,
I mean, more power to her. She's using one of the only powers we have, and that's slowing it down, man. Slowing it down in time. Time is a precious item in the legislature, and if you could slow it down, you could really get under some people's skin and you know kind of get your message across.
Mm.
The technique is what I'm understanding. Like she spent a little bit of time explaining what it was, and why she chose to use it and chose to make things uncomfortable. Marianne Williams earlier in the chat reminded us that we don't have enough Democrats to actually stop something, but you can definitely slow it down by what she did yesterday. So this is just another one of these things to me that I'm looking at. I'm finding out how things work, seeing strategies and seeing how other people who didn't want her to speak acted. And so one guy got up there and just stood there the whole time and just let the time go by silently. There was a lot of little stuff that went down there, man. It makes me, I'm always thinking, imagining myself down there whispering to y'all like, what are they acting like that for? What are they doing?
Mm.
So it just makes me wonder about that. You guys have conversations and stuff outside of the room there that has strategies involved on what it is that's going to happen and how you can support each other. Or how does that stuff go on behind the scenes? Is what I'm wondering about.
sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the senator will be like, I'm pissed off today, so y'all push y'all queue and let's filibuster. And sometimes we have a plan. It kind of varies.
Yeah.
But it's a delicate balance because if you take too much time, then you can't get the things that we need for our community also in the
Hmm.
conversation and pass. So you gotta
Right.
you gotta balance it.
Kind of backfires.
I
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
But,
I,
I'm saying, go ahead.
yeah, I did just have one question. There's a story by the Nebraska Examiner looking at apparently there's some conversation about reverting to a bicameral, and I know we talked about Nebraska being unique with the unicameral. I just wanted to speak to and Paul's kind of talking about the how the legislature is set up and some of the tools that you have. Can you just kind of speak to that conversation as far as the importance of a unicameral or what's at stake with this, possibly reverting to a bicameral?
And that's a tough one because some of your biggest criminal justice reforms are done in states where you get a majority whip and a minority whip, and they sit down in a room and they can negotiate, and then you come out with something.
Hmm.
Here, you truly got 49 independent people, so you got to negotiate with 49 people all the time, and that's just really hard to do. But at the same time, when it's successful, it's a lot easier getting stuff across the line. So
Hmm.
I mean, I'm cool with the unicameral. It's just interesting because everybody wants Democrats to be Democrats until they vote against something that they believe the Democrats don't like. Everybody want Republicans to be Republicans until they cross the aisle and vote for something the Democrats doing. So it's a balancing. I like the unicameral from a community's perspective because there's only 49 people, and you can definitely get a hold of your senator and talk to
Hmm.
them and make an influence where you would have 49, maybe 50 legislative representatives, plus you'll have another 18 or 19 senators, and it's just more people and harder to navigate. So I do like the connection to the community.
That's what's
Okay.
up.
Yeah, just wanted more clarity on what that meant and what that was about.
Yep. 8:10 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, brother McKinney, before I know you got to go soon. Before you get out of here, what should we be looking for here in the next few weeks? What needs support as far as you're concerned?
Next week I have three bills. I have one bill dealing with some pretrial stuff and some technical violations and things like that. I have another bill to ban the death penalty, and then I have another LR to make some changes to the pardons board next week. And then besides that, just the progress and the process of LB 531 and 785 going forward.
Okay, sounds
Uh,
good. What
what
is
are the next steps for those two? 531 and 785.
Well, we gotta get the amendment right, and then we gotta get 531 voted out of committee, and then hopefully appropriations moves on 785.
Okay, so will there be opportunity for the public to make comment moving forward, or is that kind of just on the legislature
I
sitting
mean,
down?
they could always reach out to myself and other senators in the body about support for the bills. But as far as like testimony, that period is over.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
and does it ever is it ever a good idea to reach out to senators that are opposed to it and try to appeal to them as well, or we just to reach out to our senators in our areas and that's that?
I think you should reach out to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it sometimes it's not that a senator doesn't support a bill, just so much going on you could forget and it could slip your mind. So it's cool. I think it's cool to reach out to everybody.
Yeah, 800 so bills. There's a lot going on.
Oh, that was my last question too. So we know now that I got wind today that we're running out of time. This is getting ready to get to a point where you're not going to be able to look at all the bills. So I was thinking that all this was going to happen. All 800 bills are really going to be looked at, but it seems like that's not the case now, right? So because there is such a thing as we running out of time for these bills and got to wait till next session to even bring them up. Is that correct?
Yeah, every bill doesn't make it out of committee onto the floor. Some have already been removed and IPP'd, and some are never coming out of committee. So I forget how many bills usually hit the floor, but it's definitely not close to 800.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate it, man. I know you got to get going, so I want to let you go. Any last words that you got going on? I got a couple questions for you, brother Wayne, if you can stick around for a minute. But no, brother McKinney got to go.
No, I mean, just thank y'all for having us on. I always look forward to it. Always look forward to the questions, and I'll see y'all next week.
All
Sounds
right,
good,
take
man.
care.
Appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
you.
on. Peace, brother Wayne. What you
Yeah,
doing, man?
I
You over
only got like 5 minutes, but what's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say you over there moving or something. What you doing? I'm hearing furniture moving around there. You fighting? You in a fight?
No, yeah, I'm trying to get up and get moving for this meeting that I got. That's why I ain't turned my camera on.
It's
They
all
still
good,
got
man.
the eye boogers in there, huh? Um.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
just
but before we get out of here, any bills to look out for the next week or so, or any top of mind topics you want to let the people know of?
No, I mean I got some bills in juvenile around juvenile and around some stuff, but they're gonna be part of a package. So we're just trying to. Right now, it's critical. We should start making amendments and getting kind of the amendments done.
uh,
Okay. Okay.
anything that we can help support. at this point?
I don't even know what it looks like yet. We meeting today with the governor and some people to start talking about criminal justice reform, and so we just talking concepts today, and then I got to start drafting amendments. That's kind of one of those days.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you get to it, man. Appreciate you coming on this morning. I know that you guys got a lot going on in the morning and trying to get up to handle business. So again, just can tell you how much we appreciate you guys coming on, spending that time this morning, getting us going on this. And apologize if we're asking the same question. Sometimes it takes a couple times for me to get what's really happening. I know that we've talked about 531 a few times, and I'm just now getting understanding everything. So appreciate your patience as well, coming on and talking to us about these things. And we'll continue to engage, man, and see how much we can really help the process out. But we're doing it at your leadership, so we appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too, bro. Peace. All right, there it is, brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their names. Appreciate them coming through. Let's take a quick break and come back and jump into some more stories and some more discussion that I feel like we need to have with the Chat Chimer. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, right near the beach.
Near the beach.
Stay tuned, man. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Chat Chimers, Ghost listeners, appreciate everybody that's on today with us, joining us on this journey on, what is this, March the 10th already, man. I thought, wasn't it just the 1st?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Time's
we're
flying.
halfway through the month already.
Halfway through the month. Supposed to be getting cold and stuff again here in Omaha. It's going to dip again a little bit, but it's kind of going back and forth, man. We had some good days and some cold days, and it's not done. It's not done flip-flopping and all this mess. But
hey, that's Omaha for you.
Man, it's not springtime yet, bro.
Not
so
yet.
Take care of yourselves with all that, man. Keep warm, whatever you got to do. All that good stuff. Just watch out. It's still weird to me to have to get up and wonder what the weather's going to do every day. That's still very strange. I grew up like, it's going to be hot today. That's all I know. So
the surety, good old days.
Appreciate everybody jumping in the chat. A new name, Sarah Phelps, says, my first listen, and I'm so glad to be here. Hey, thank you very much.
Hey. We always welcome new ones. So, yeah, welcome. First time listener, hopefully not a last time listener. Thank you.
There you go, Brother Knight says 60 degrees on Sunday. I'll take that. That for real. Yeah.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's a win. That's a win for Omaha. That's still a California winter, but that's California winter for real, but I'll take 60. Brother Fulton said, I missed it. Are the Olsen recommendations out for LB 532? You got to go back and check that out, man. It's not out. 531, we kind of, the senators went through and explained a little bit about what those bills are, and everything's still going like it is. So the people that went through the whole Olsen thing, those are the ones that still have to apply to the DED when it comes time and all that stuff. So no, it's still in play. It's still in play like it was. But definitely go back and check that out in detail. Lucia Rodriguez, buenos dias. Good morning to you
Hey.
as well. In the dias.
Yes, yeah.
Love that. Love that. Appreciate you getting up this morning as well. And everybody else that's come on in, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you missed any parts of this show, you can always go back and watch it in its entirety on the Facebook page and also on the YouTube channel. So go back and check out the show. And when you do, go back and check out the chat as well. A lot of the conversation that is happening on the show is in the chat. And you can always add to it. And if you have more things you want to add, then please go ahead and go to Friends of First Sky Omaha and talk about and continue the conversation there. And also drop some things in that you would like us to talk about. So appreciate that very much. Precious McKesson in the house saying good morning, family.
Hey.
Good morning to you, Precious. Can't wait to talk to you next week about what went down this week. And if you were up there with I Be Black Girl and, we just got off with the senators talking about how this week went. Interesting stories, interesting things going on. Michaela Cavanaugh up there holding it down. So I can't wait to hear some of the firsthand information you have on the week and what happened. And
Uh-oh.
you know what that means.
Yeah. Uh-oh. You already know.
I love that you can hear her voice saying it as soon as she writes it out like that. I love that.
Man. Yeah, Paul's kind of giving us a little background about Senator Cavanaugh, admonishing some of her fellow senators about their behavior. And I was wondering if you could give us some first-hand accounts if you were a witness to some of that, Miss McKesson. So
that's what I want to know. If I Be Black Girl was getting was getting that treatment, that's what I want to know. Yeah. Just to remind you, if you're just joining us, we were talking about Senator Michaela Cavanaugh. Put some respect on her name. Was up, got wind that some of the senators there, the men in the room, were saying some crazy stuff to some of the sexual assault victims. Stuff like "go get a better husband" and stuff like that. I was like, "What?"
Man, out of pocket.
She was hot. Very, very. I keep on want to say entertaining, intense. A very intense session yesterday.
Yeah, man.
I could not stop watching. It was one of them kind of situations. She says, "It wasn't us. We would have had some words." Yep.
Okay.
Glad to hear that. So shout out to I Be Black Girl for doing the thing and going up and representing. I heard them get shouted out on the floor. When you're watching it, they acknowledge who's in the balcony, and then all the senators get up and applaud. But sometimes I be listening and don't realize that they turn the mic off when the applause happens. So I just.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. Why are they so quiet? Just standing there. And then I finally looked at it, and they were standing up applauding. I know what goes on now. So that's what's up. Learning more all the time about what happens on the floor. So that's what's up. But can't wait to hear from you about what's going on. While you're here, though, I also would like to take this opportunity to remind everyone in the chat and remind everyone on Friends of First Sky Omaha that we do not want to create an environment where people feel like they have to block anybody that is a friend of First Sky Omaha. If you're on Friends of First Sky Omaha and you're being super adversarial and you're calling folks out by name and you're not helping the process and helping the conversation, and you're making it so that other friends of First Sky Omaha feel like they got to block you, then you're not really being a friend of First Sky Omaha. So that group, it may not be for you.
Again, the point of solutions.
I'm trying to be real diplomatic about this because I really do encourage everybody to come in with their own ideas. But I fear that we are. She said, "Oh, I'm blocking. My mama is blocked, so no one is."
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Rick Fuller says, "Bye." Okay, well, I don't, not trying to kick nobody off, but that's my point is that I absolutely want us to remember that what we're trying to do here is create some conversation to get to some solutions, and that requires some, good faith conversations to happen. We want to we don't mind about holding people responsible for what it is that they say and do. But we also want to make sure that we do it with respect and we're not being rude and we're not making it so that, this whole thing is to actually have some debate, not to have like arguments. And I know that it's difficult sometimes when you're dealing with chat because most chats Just go look at Channel 7's chat page. Most chats are people just spouting off, going off, trolling folks and so on and so forth. That's kind of like how you have some anonymity and you can just say what you want to say, and that's how most chats work. And we are asking for people to look at our chat as a different type of situation. Our chat, we're saying, don't use as a regular chat. Don't use it how you see chats all over the place. Use it as if you're standing in front of someone and you're having a conversation face to face. What are the rules then? How you guys talking to each other then? Like if it's a situation where you're being rude, disrespectful, then the conversation stops pretty immediately. If me and you are face to face and you start talking rude and disrespectfully and start talking at me, that conversation about to be over.
Yeah.
So, same thing on the chat, same thing on the Friends of First Sky Omaha. We want to make sure that here's Precious saying it's very sad when black men are attacking black women. Protect queens at all costs. Yeah, no attacking. We can't have any attacking of anybody. So I'm hoping every time I bring these things up, I'm hoping things self-regulate. Mm-hmm. If they don't,
gotta address it.
I'm not just going to address it. I'm going to start taking some action on it. This is First Sky Omaha's page. Start your own page if you want to start some mess, or if you think you got something that you want to teach somebody. And you got points that you want to bring up and you're not being respectful of other people's opinions. Like all that kind of stuff is not for here. Yeah. So I would like it to self-regulate. I work 2 full-time jobs, bro. I don't have time to be in here going through each comment and all that. Everybody needs to just talk to each other with respect. And if not, as soon as I get wind of something, I'll start just kicking people out. Because this is First Sky Omaha's page. That's that. So it can't be there can't be any kind of condescending talk. There can't be any kind of disrespecting talk, no patronizing talk, none of that kind of mess, man. You got something that you want to teach somebody, start your own page, start your own chat, and handle it that way. We're handling it different here, and I appreciate it if you guys respect the way that we have set our thing up. This is First Sky Omaha. So again, we want to make it so that everybody is able to have an opinion. Everybody's able to voice their opinion. I want to hear different perspectives, different opinions. I want to hear people, what they think, what they have to think. But let's not approach this thing as this is what you have to say is the end all be all, and we're all dumb if we don't agree with you and all that mess. That's not what's gonna happen here. If I got to take the time to be sitting up in the middle of the night taking stuff down, that's what I'll do. So really, like I said, I'm hoping it self-regulates. I'm hoping that the people that we consider co-hosts and chat chimers can and let me know. Everybody who has been regular co-hosts and chat chimers, let me know as well if you're feeling like that we need to be regulating things a little bit better. I'd love to know that. I'd love to know all that. Jumping in the chat, let me see. Tanaya Patterson said, a few on there be talking like we don't know what the problem is. It's highly patronizing, okay, and condescending. Precious says, I did unblock someone. Brother Knight said, keep in mind, sometimes people use their feelings as a weapon against others' argument that the feeling person can't refute. Okay. Okay. I'll think about that statement for a second. Precious says, I think we just needed to get to know each other. Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to get to know people when you're talking at you, though. So let's keep that in mind. We all are trying to get to know each other for real. In a minute, when the weather gets better, we're going to start having some chat chimers kickbacks and stuff again. So we'll be face to face.
Yeah. What about community?
Precious says, Pop says, honestly, I think enough warning has been issued and that the axe needs to be wielded. Okay. Pops is ready for people to start getting cut down. Prada Kexery says, period. Okay. I'm not sure who that is on YouTube, but I appreciate the exclamation there. Precious says, I'm always open to meet and to talk. As am I, as we are. Brother Knight says, if what one believes cannot withstand scrutiny, then just change what you believe. Okay, I don't know. I think that we can express what it is that we believe. We can handle scrutiny, but what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about scrutiny. I'm talking about disrespect. I'm talking about disrespectfully addressing somebody's beliefs. Snyder Patterson says, and then when they get pushed back, tone it down and act like they didn't just come sideways. Stacey Jean says, voicing one's opinion is one thing. Being a troll and a bully is a turnoff. Stacey Jean, and then see, they'll come and just, I got all these words. I'll be trying to, and Stacey Jean, she said, coming to say it in one sentence, real concisely. Yeah, that's not what's up, and it is a turn off, and I'll turn it off, because that's not what I'm here to do. It's not what we're here to do, buddy. I'm sure you fully agree with me on that tip.
Yeah,
we know why we're here doing what we're doing and why and how we're doing it. So
it's a distraction. We're trying to get to some solutions, and you just, and it's not, when I say it's not anybody in specific, just generally a person just throwing out ideas and, like Paul said, talking at someone. If your comment question doesn't leave a lot of room for response or like a genuine, when it's not a genuine question, when what you're saying is pointed. So let's just keep that in mind and be respectful at the end of the day.
yeah.
Mr. Knight is saying shouldn't badger or name call, but some feel disrespected when they believe doesn't withstand scrutiny. And I do agree with that. We're all here for a healthy debate. We're all here for a healthy challenge of ideas. But again, it's all about being healthy and respectful in that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody bring any real scrutiny to any ideas quite yet. Mm-hmm. So that what you're saying right there, Brother Knight, is not 100% for me. When their belief doesn't withstand scrutiny, I haven't heard anybody give any real scrutiny when it comes to anybody else's beliefs. I hear people saying y'all wrong, and I hear people being real cut and dry about what somebody else's believe. No, like I said, I think that scrutiny is maybe we're talking about different styles of scrutiny then, because what I'm talking about, I don't want to say that we don't need to scrutinize each other when we're talking, but the scrutiny needs to be with respect, not just like what you believe is all wrong. Here's what I'm saying is right, and we can't get to a conversation about it, any debate about it. There's got to be some understanding. Maybe we're asking too much. Maybe we're asking too much of people that really don't know each other quite yet. But we consider the chat chimers like family, and family comes to each other not really saying, nah, you just, as far as I'm concerned, don't come to each other just saying, nah, that's wrong. This is the absolute truth. You're wrong. And your argument's not holding up. I haven't heard enough of the argument hasn't transpired enough in a chat. You can't even really have a proper argument in a chat. So you said you did earlier scrutinize somebody's belief, but I don't, a person's belief, somebody bringing up what their belief was in the chat earlier is got to be, I don't see how they can do that, first of all, in one chat statement. And I can't see how it can be scrutinized in one chat statement. That's too quick of a turnaround for any kind of real conversation and understanding. So I think that what should have happened earlier is that maybe y'all should have went off on your own and called each other or had a discussion some other kind of way that could have been a little bit more deeper and nuanced and with some understanding, instead of like going back and forth on the chat. I don't see how anything gets scrutinized or handled, or ultimately any minds get changed or any points get seen and understood that way, which is what we're here for. We're here for minds to get changed, points to be understood, and come to conclusions. Sometimes you got to agree to disagree, and that should be fine. And we should all still respect each other even if we disagree. So it's not a you're right, you're wrong type of vibe that we got going on here with that. So I'm not seeing any real scrutiny happen or any real discussion about about beliefs and points. I don't want it to be a situation where we have this chat and all we're doing is throwing out the sound bites that we hear everywhere else about stuff. I mean, we can go all the way back to say something about homophobia, or going all the way back to say something about racism. You can make some pretty big statements there. And this is not a big statement platform. This is kind of a nuanced platform. Let's have some understanding about what somebody else thinks and what we think, and try to find the commonalities there, instead of it being like an attack back and forth on each other. Nobody's really here to scrutinize in that kind of way. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. I'm going on about it because of the of it. It is crucial for us going forward with this show. It's that important. I don't necessarily want to spend that much time on this either, but I feel like I have to because on my off time, what I'm doing is like hearing from folks feeling like they are don't want to listen no more, or they want to get off of Friends of First Sky Omaha, or they want to, you know what I'm saying, like, and then just what happened right now where we have the senators on, but folks is going at it on some other stuff. Um, there's too many other ways that you can communicate than to not follow our lead here on this. And if it means that it's going to turn into that, we'll find something else to do. I'll find something else to do, bro. If we can't if this thing can't be the kind of chat that it needs to be, then we'll find another platform. We're a media company, and we got 15 other ways to put media out, and this is just one of them. So if it's going to turn into some ugly mess that we got to like regulate all the time and can't really get down to any kind of business or action or discussion, I feel it's that important. I'm spending the time on it now. We got other stories we need to talk about. We only got 25 minutes left in the show, and I know Buddy's ready to move on from this subject. But right now, I'm a little upset at what's been going on with the chat and Friends of First Sky Omaha, because that's not what I'm here for. And I'll shut the mess down. And if it don't get shut down, if this is just going to keep on being something like this, where we got to keep on bringing this up, it's not going to self-regulate. And I don't have the time to be in here scrutinizing every comment, then we'll find something else to do. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm listening to y'all. I'm seeing Gwen Easter gave us a good morning. Good morning to you on Facebook. Appreciate you coming in. Brother Knight says, shouldn't badger a name call, but some feel disrespected. Okay, we talked about the scrutiny already. He said, can your argument be proven true, or is what one believes flawed? We all are encouraged to have our thoughts and bring proof to our thoughts, of course. Sometimes, though, it's going to come down to our opinion. And if it does, then we just have to respect each other's opinion. That's what it's got to be. Here, it can be whatever you needed to be on your page, but here, that's what it's got to be. Ty Williams says, sad that we have to keep reminding grown folks how to talk to each other. Ty Williams, I will say, I do feel necessary to keep reminding because it's of the format. We're doing this in a chat, and most of the time chats are ugly, man. Like I said, go look at Channel 7's chat. It's the most ridiculous, racist. You know, like there's so much. It's a propensity to troll on chats. We're trying to use the chat as if we were grown folks talking to each other face to face. I know that's something different. I know it's something we got to get used to because of how we all kind of learned how chats work. But I'm asking people to do that here with the chat. If I were to ask, if I were to say, hey, come on to the show and speak to us face to face on it. And the way that the vibe that I'm getting from the chat is, if you were to come on the show talking like that, it would be a different kind of show. We would be here intensely arguing and going back and forth and shutting each other out and everything else that happens. If you talking like you talking on the chat to me face to face, the conversation will be over real fast. Brother Knight says, minds can't be changed unless feelings are taken out of the question. I don't know if I agree with that. I think feelings are one of the reasons why you think what you think. He also says that means your mind is made up. Not necessarily. Brother Knight says the mind shouldn't always remain open for suggestion. I agree. Suggestion is different from badgering with what's right and what's wrong, what's absolute. That's not suggestion. Pop says, think of this. We have had several of these discussions here lately, and there's our precious minutes being stolen from the show. I know that Buddy feels like that right now for sure. I'm sorry about that. Metal Mama says, the nature of belief includes flaws. To have a belief is to have a flawed belief. Nothing is encompassing. It's okay to not have your mind change with every discussion. Very true. I agree with that. Mama God says, maybe the flow of this forum doesn't work for you. If not, it's your responsibility to find what's right for your personality. Appreciate that. Ariel's 402, intelligence is intellect. Be intellectual. Tanaya Patterson says, I want to see all those rhetoricals taken to the council to Lincoln, take their plan on how to combat hostile political environment. because on Friends page it was consistent. Why aren't they you guys doing this and that? Yeah, the why aren't they doing this and that, the calling out on all that kind of stuff on Friends of is what I'm not with. I'm not gonna keep going all the way through this, but let's move on. Marianne Williams says, can we talk about planning the first Sky Omaha Legislative Day and spend some time together in a united way? I would love to meet many of you. Yeah, we're going to have a few chat chimers, kickbacks, legislative days, events that's going to be happening this spring and summer for sure. So really appreciate that. Anyway, might be taking too much time about this over one person. Oh no, Tony Johnson, this is not over one person at all. This is not over any one person. I'm spending time talking about this because there's a vibe going on with our chat in our Friends of First Sky page that everybody's with. Because you gotta understand, it's not just if somebody brings some controversial stuff up or acts a certain way, then the chat chimer is going to respond to that. Then they're going back and forth. Then it's both of them creating a vibe, and then it's multiple people creating a vibe, and then it's people calling me in the middle of the night saying they are getting ready to get off the page and block folks because of the vibe. So like this is about how this show is going, not necessarily about one person or anybody individual person that's doing anything right or wrong. Not calling anybody on any of that. I'm just saying this is a different style. So anyway, I'll leave it there, and I'll leave the comments to each of you guys. Continue to read those comments, continue to consider those comments, and consider your own comments as comments that are created with the air of respect. And with this whole vibe of us trying to get to an answer and get to some solutions, and that's what this is about. So if we can change that, then cool. If not, then I won't bring it up again. This is the reason why I'm taking the time now, because I'm not going to bring it up again. I'm just going to start cutting stuff off. Mm-hmm. So I want to give it plenty of respect and time and understanding. If anybody doesn't understand what I'm saying, ask me, bring it up in the chat, say something, hit me up, whatever it is. I want everybody to fully understand what I'm talking about, because I don't want it to just seem like we didn't spend enough time on explaining what we're here for and what we're doing and why we're saying what we're saying before I just start, cutting stuff off. So that's the last time I'll talk about it, buddy. If you got anything to say about it, maybe we ought to, say it now and then forever hold the delete button.
I mean, yeah, I see it. I see, the energy in certain comments, from multiple places, not just here on the show, not just today, but posts that go on Friends of First Sky's page, and I just know people. I see people and how just certain energy that people come with, and it might come from a good place. Like you might, genuinely want to be calling out an issue, but how do you do that? And again, just keep in mind, I'll keep it short and say this. Just keep in mind what we're here to do. Again, this is a solutions-based conversation. We are presenting the issues and trying to get clarity on what the issue is, first of all, and then what is a solution to that issue. So just ask yourself. I'm going to present a self-governance, question and charge to the people. Ask yourself, does this question or comment get us closer to a solution, or is this just kicking up dust? And I understand you. Some people might have a certain feeling with how things are going, what people are doing and saying, and you might just want to kick up dust. This is not the place for that. We're looking for solutions. If you want to kick up dust and just kind of say what you have to say, be petty, do that somewhere else. Again, ask yourself, is this going to get us closer to a solution? If it does, present it to the group. If it doesn't, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. I'm all about people. We're trying to figure this thing out. We're trying to make it so that everybody can call out what needs to be called out. This is a voice. We presented this thing as a voice for people to be able to do that. I'm talking about the style in which it's done. Mm-hmm. The style. So, yes, keep on calling folks out, but do it with kindness. Keep on calling folks out, but do it as if you were speaking to people face to face. That's all I'm talking about. The style. It's not the what is being done, it's the how. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. because I firmly believe you can't get nothing done if you're doing it disrespectfully and you're doing it aggressively and so on and so forth. It's just not, this is not the place for it. So anyway, I'll go back and check out what you guys are talking about in the chat. This is what it's going to come down to here. Like, I'm not even inclined to go look back at the chat at this moment because that's how I'm feeling about it. But I'll go back and read what it is that you guys are talking about. In the meantime, we can take a quick break and come back and wrap up a few more stories of some things that some of you guys wanted to talk about and things we think is important for our area right now. And we'll jump on that and then jump onto some haps. Since that's coming up. As a matter of fact, this is Friday, isn't it? Yep. Friday. We need to have a little bit more of extensive haps to talk about what's going on over the weekend. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, friends of. Let's be cool. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Try to smell the coffee beans, reset, and just say, regardless of whatever it is that we talk about, really do appreciate everybody that comes onto the show and everybody that has something to say. And I love the fact that you guys are open for us to figure out how to regulate how it gets done on here on our channel. So appreciate it. And appreciate all of you for speaking up. So thank you very much. In the meantime, between time, like I say, if you missed any parts of this show, go back and check it out on YouTube, the First Sky Omaha YouTube channel, and also First Sky Omaha Facebook page. You can check it all out. You can jump into the chat, and you can even can participate in that chat even after the show. And again, got things that you think are things that our neighborhoods need to be talking about, drop them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's what it's there for. And it's there to continue the discussion when we're not live. So all rules apply there too. So thank you very much. In the meantime, between time, Buddy, apologize to you for continuing on when I know that you wanted to move on with this subject. I went ahead and took it because I'm vowing to not have to speak about this again. So again, apologize to you for taking that time. And let's go ahead and jump back into the agenda.
No need to apologize. Because again, the whole point of us getting into the stories, the whole point of us reading through it, and I'm not just reading do this for my health. We're trying to get to some solutions and going to what one of the chat chimers asked about constructive outlet. What if we had a constructive outlet? That's what we're trying to be. And so trying to construct some solutions and some understanding and some community. So yeah. But yeah, moving forward, man, just about 12 minutes left in the show. Speaking of construction, man, some development things going on in the city that we should, look out for, be aware of, especially in the North Omaha downtown area. A lot of sports related things. Apparently, Creighton University and the College World Series have made a joint pitch earlier this week for a $60 million project, $60 million in state funds to help finish actually a trio of projects, including a new baseball field for the university's team and also practice fields for the College World Series, as well as the completion of a $90 million health sciences education building which was portrayed as a way to address Nebraska's workforce shortage in nurses and physicians and other health-related fields. Again, the health industry is one of the leading industries in Omaha and Nebraska. And again, apparently this health sciences building will go towards continuing that pipeline and keeping that open. Of course, a lot of money pouring into North Omaha. Creighton also, pouring into North Omaha. Uh,
Well said. Well said.
yeah. What are our thoughts on this? Especially, possible expansion of College World Series, baseball fields in the area, practice fields, batting cages, things of that nature.
Well, before we get to the thoughts on this particular thing, we should talk about the other stuff that's coming in. There's some other $60 million projects and $100 million project coming in the same kind of area. And to me, I kept thinking about all these because this stuff coming in. Because first of all, I'm thinking about all the money that's still coming in. This is way beyond 1024 anything we've been talking about. This is all kinds of other stuff happening. We always have been talking about what's going on in what they call North Downtown, which we call the North Side, and all the building and construction that has been blocked there in order for them to do what their plans are. And now here some plans are coming up.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to call the area no dough, but as we're seeing, there's plenty of dough in that in these areas that they're asking for. To your point, another one of those projects, Union Omaha, they're possibly eyeing the no dough area, quote unquote. If you're not familiar, Union Omaha is Omaha's soccer team. The stadium will not only be home to Nebraska's first and only professional soccer club, but also host a new women's team and youth training academy to keep the state's top soccer talent home. So, yes, they are asking for a $100 million soccer stadium with a capacity of 10,000 people. An exact location for the stadium has not been revealed. But again, there is a feasibility study that's looking at Midtown and North Downtown for the best possible fit for the club. So a lot of development going on in the North Downtown area. But always the question, who's going to benefit from it when jobs come with some of this, who's going to be presented with those opportunities, those types of things. So definitely looking at, some of the development going on in the North Downtown area that's outside of all this economic recovery that we're seeing with LB 1024.
Yeah. This reminds me of is when the stadium got built. What's the baseball stadium out there? It's the
it was TD Ameritrade. Now I think it's the Schwab Field.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna call it the Blatt, but I know that wasn't it.
Oh yeah, Rosenblatt. That was out by the zoo.
Yeah, but they built the new one, the Charles Schwab deal. When that deal went down, I remember talking to Mike Maroney about it over at OEDC. And what my understanding was that he helped broker a deal that if they were going to build that stadium downtown like that North Omaha needed to get these millions of dollars in order to do what needs to be done around it. They can't come down that close to North Omaha, build something like that, and then not make no deal with North Omaha. And the deal that came from it was one building across the street from there, which was the Nines. The money went to the 24th Street corridor, and then money went to, I believe, 30th Street corridor. So some of the progress that got made there was made because of a deal that that happened between North Omaha and the city for money to come into North Omaha because of the fact that this thing was going to get built. There's still millions of dollars, from what I understand, that they're sitting on from that deal. Because there's several times when I've talked to folks that said the Northo plan that they have, that the stuff that they can build around there, the stuff they're supposed to build, like right there on 24th and Lake, the stuff that's being built now. They tore down the old Safeway, and now they're getting ready to build stuff there. All that stuff is some of that is getting paid for by that particular deal that happened. Years ago, when I went to go talk to Mike Maroney about possibly buying putting the showcase back in Allen's hands, he was saying, well, here's a plan for that corner, if you come up with a certain amount of money in order to remake a club, here I have infrastructure money from this deal that can go there. So, we can put the building there with the lofts up top and all the stuff that we're planning on. If there's a commitment from your end on a business that you're going to run out of that building, then we got this infrastructure money to build the building. So a lot of stuff that I'm seeing down there that's happening, I know that that's some of what's behind it. So when I hear about soccer stadiums, they're talking about building in North Downtown, and I'm hearing about other facilities like this that they're asking for millions of dollars for. I'm thinking who's making that deal? It made sense to me that North Side should be getting some money from something that's that huge, especially now that they're talking about this soccer field that might end up on the no-do side, actually in North Omaha. What does that mean? And then, of course, we can go back and ask questions about construction. Who's going to build it?
Right.
Is going to be any minority construction companies that's going to build it? Who's going to work there? We can talk about all the things that'll bring. Who's developing in the first place, and is it part? You're going to get tax credits. All the things that we can ask about something that's going to get built. And even if it's not built in North Omaha, it'll be close. So will another deal ensue? Is my question on that. So give me your thoughts on that. If you guys are interested in this subject at all at this moment in the show, let us know if it's something that is a concern. All these new construction, these new big asks for big construction to happen in our neighborhoods. It is, North Downtown is downtown as far as we're concerned. So, what does that mean? What does that mean for us?
Yeah. I mean, initially I was kind of thinking like, more gentrification, more encroachment. But I am kind of feeling, that this could be a good thing, especially if the real seeds are planted and depending on, who benefits and who comes out of this whole LB 1024 economic recovery plan. What comes out of that, that can get a boost from that traffic. If there is a more practice fields, that means that teams are staying closer downtown. When there is College World Series, which means families are usually staying closer downtown. As far as I know, some teams stay in areas closer, maybe out west where they might be practicing and things like that. At high schools and things like that. So that could, just all these could possibly bring more traffic to the North Downtown area, which could, in effect, bring more traffic to those 24th and 16th Street businesses. So we'll see.
Metal Mama's asking, have the neighborhoods been spoken to? I don't think so. And this is the reason why we're kind of bringing these stories up now, is because this is the very early stages. They're just now asking for these millions to get it done. And so if we know that these things are coming, then we can demand that they talk to the neighborhoods. We can make sure, oh, wait a minute, we're following the process here. You guys haven't talked to the neighborhoods yet. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we're bringing it up now. We do this a lot. We'll see something coming up like that, and then we'll bring it up, and then we'll follow it all year and see what stage it's in, and so on and so forth. So help us do that, if you don't mind. Tonight Passion says they have to support businesses and make the perimeter look halfway decent. I feel like the only reason 16th and 24th is getting a facelift.
Oh yeah, definitely, and of course Midtown. There's this whole urban corridor that's being invested in with, look at Jean Leahy Mall. Yeah. They don't want to just, you have to drive through a bunch of dilapidation and, a bunch of torn down, barely operating buildings on Cummings Street and then go 2 blocks over. And now you're in this, newly invested in area with this, Mutual of Omaha building and this nice amphitheater. Like, yeah, there has to be auxiliary areas, a buffeting, if you will, of that area. But how far does it buffet? You know what I mean?
Right.
Metal Mama, I'm definitely along with you saying no community involvement equals no cooperation. Definitely, they need to have the spine and speak out to the people, which is why we're speaking up, making sure that we're not getting left behind in that conversation. So, yeah.
2 more minutes left in the show. Don't really have time for the house, but I will bring up a couple things that are significant to what we're talking about right now. It looks like North Omaha Music and Arts, NOMA, has officially purchased the land to build out their renovation. So
Okay.
this is one of those ones we talked about before. Love's Jazz got taken over by Noma, and then they have these plans to build out the renovation for that whole block. Looks like they just purchased the land for that. Something to keep in mind and look out for, and talk about that. So most def. Also, I will say Kathy Hughes is going to be a guest on Questlove Supreme. So I don't know if you guys have been following Questlove's podcast, but he's got a great podcast where he has access to everybody, as you can see. And our own Omaha's own Kathy Hughes is going to be a special guest on a couple of episodes there. So be looking out for the Questlove Supreme show. Just wanted to bring that up. And what's the other thing that I wanted to bring up real quick? Shout out to Mark Manor, who's now writing for the Reader. He has an article out. Rapper rocker shines a light in the dark. So he's shining a light on a new MC that's coming out of here, which is a big change because usually the music writer for everywhere is talking about the indie rock scene a lot. So now that Mark Manor's over there writing, immediately bringing in talking about a rapper that's from the North Side. So that's what's up. Appreciate him and those articles and the Reader for bringing those things out as well. And just want to give him a shout out for that article. So that's what's up. Appreciate him very much. And that's kind of really all I have at this moment, man. I don't want to spend too much time running late on anything. Buddy, you got anything that we need to make sure that we talk about before we get out of here?
No, not particularly. If you have anything going on this weekend, feel free to drop that in the Friends of page. Definitely be safe, have fun this weekend. See catch us same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Of course, big shout out to the Senators for taking the time out of their morning, especially Senator McKinney says he had a little headache. Definitely get better, but definitely appreciate them for taking the time out of their morning to speak with us, and also all of you for taking the time to tune in this morning and try to add some ideas, try to add something or whatever it feels that you feel that you're adding, just trying to add something to the conversation. We appreciate you, we love you, we thank you all the same. And yeah, man, without belaboring the point, man, we'll go ahead and get up out of here, get ready for the weekend. Paul B,
Yo,
man, take us away.
Right on. Pop says much love to the First Sky fam. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you on Monday. We will see you on Monday as well. Thank you for everybody that's joined us and that's chimed into the chat, man. Even when it's controversial, even when it's something that we gotta try to help regulate and speak on and speak out on how things are being done. Don't want you to take that as we don't have love for y'all. We don't have understanding and so on and so forth. We recognize that everybody has a bunch of different styles. And we're trying to refine our show to have a certain style that I feel and Buddy feels and we all feel allows for continued conversation. And that's what this is all about. Mama God says, love my First Sky fam. I do too. Even if we get irritated at each other from something from time to time, we still love each other. That's how families work. So it's all good in the hood. And let's keep on rolling with each other and try to refine and get down to some action and make some real change happen out here in our neighborhood. So with that said, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them and even have admonishment when needed sometimes. And I appreciate you guys allowing us to do that. And I also really appreciate the chat chimers for allowing us to speak with you. Please continue to speak with us. And if I say anything that's offensive, I apologize and call me out on it too. Just do so with some style, man. We got to have some style around here. It's not about being adversarial and being controversial and do it with some compassion. That's all I'm saying. Do it with some thought and some respect. And I'll do the same. So appreciate all of you. And we'll continue to have these conversations. We will be back on Monday, and it'll be our News Monday as well. I believe we're going to have somebody from the Reader and Flatwater Free Press on Monday as well. So thank you very much for that. Thanks for all the work that you guys have done, all the support that you guys did going up to the legislature, especially this week. This is a very heavy week in the legislature. So it's shout out to IB Black Girl, Precious McKesson, Kimra Snipes, everybody that showed face. And Marianne Williams, everybody who kept us up on what's going on. And we'll definitely have Michaela Cavanaugh on the show soon so she can talk about her experience there as well. And I'd love to hear from her too. So we got some guests coming in that we can continue this journey on. And I appreciate all of you because I learn so much every time we have these shows. So
yeah, man.
Thanks again. Appreciate you. Really take care of yourselves this weekend and
Peace.
We will have some face to face, and I bet you as soon as we are standing somewhere having a cocktail, listening to a DJ and talking, everything will get sorted out, worked out, and respectfully done, and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I ain't even worried about it, really, man. As soon as we all get together as fam, we always have a funky good time, and we're gonna keep on having it. So really, really appreciate everybody that's joined in. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves this weekend. And if you, like I said, if you miss any parts of this show, go back and watch it, and jump into the chat, add to it. Have some conversations offline. Let's do what we can do to have some togetherness and some not competition, but community collaboration, so that we can. That's the only way we're gonna get something done. We got to organize and get it done. So that's what we're doing. Appreciate you very much. Say what?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Season 5. Here we are. That's what's up. All right, we'll see you Monday. Peace.
By the way, Van Glorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any